the Minister for his reply. Can I ask the Minister what percentage of the 88,400 total employment growth in 2023 were for PMET roles? And of these, what percentage went to Singapore citizens, and in particular, older Singaporean PMETs?
I thank the member for that question. Of the increase in total employment, the 88,400, there was an increase of 4,900 residents and 18,700 EP holders and S-Pass holders. I hope that clarifies. Thank you.
I thank the Minister for his reply to my SQ, but I don't think it actually addresses the question I was asking. He's comparing the 4,900 with the 18,700 EP and S-Pass holders. But 4,900 consists of all the Singaporean growth, all the resident workforce growth, not just for PMETs. So if you were to assume that EP and S-Pass holders are PMETs, what is the percentage of the 4,900 that goes to Singaporeans? And I listened carefully to the Minister's reply, and I understand what he's trying to get at. But given the substantial government expenditure used for job creation in Singapore, including EDB's efforts to attract foreign direct investment, the extensive tax incentives given to MNCs, if most of these jobs continue to be filled year after year, mostly by foreigners, is the Minister concerned that these government expenditures appear to be disproportionately benefiting MNCs and foreign workers, in particular foreign professionals, over Singaporean workers?
Mr. Speaker, as I've shared earlier on a like-for-like comparison, you need to look at that 4,900 versus that 18,700 jobs in the same sector, because really more than 77% of last year's employment from the construction and some process and manufacturing sector are typically jobs that Singaporeans do not want to be part of. So really, if you want to compare the type of jobs that Singaporeans would prefer to be in, and as I've shared earlier on, that our focus is on enabling and helping and facilitating every Singaporean who wants to choose a particular job or role will be able to do so. So look at that particular sector, and for the record, in terms of the total EP and S-Pass holders, is still about 32% of our overall workforce. I think to say that we have expended significant government expenditures in terms of growing the economy and how many of these jobs end up with residents, I think it's may I sort of use a sort of a phrase to say that I think that is myopic. And why do I say that? Today, if you look at the overall statistics that we have presented in our labour market report, our long-term unemployment is at 0.7%, 0.8%. And how we classify long-term unemployment is anyone who's unemployed for 6 months, above 6 months. Now, at a sort of a snapshot, our resident unemployment is about 2.7%. So really, that 2% is churn. Most of them, if they so wish to do so, would find a job within 6 months. So it's churn. So for all intent and purposes, we are at very close to full employment. We have also shared at Budget COS, and DPM has also shared in his budget statement that for us to continue to grow, we cannot just grow workforce indefinitely. We need to also grow our productivity and our value added. Businesses, when they thrive, as the economy grows, they need access to workforce, they need access to workers, they need access to foreign talent, they need access to local talent. Now, in a situation where our labor market is so tight, how do we ensure that our startups, our SMEs, our large local enterprises, and the MNCs who make significant FDIs here in Singapore to continue to grow and tap and leverage on the ecosystem, especially when we are already at close to full employment? Is the member therefore suggesting that because of the fact that we are at full employment, we do not, or we put a dampener on our businesses' ability to grow? I think that is very short-sighted. I hope that sets the perspective as to what we are thinking. Today, we are at a pivotal moment with all of the transformation, with significant disruptions that's happening. This is our opportunity to work together to make sure that we continue to create, sustain a thriving metropolis for our successive generations. Thank you.
Sir, I'd like to thank the Minister for his enthusiastic response to our questions on Singapore manpower policy and all that. However, I would like to highlight, like what I've done a few years ago during the jobs.
Are you asking a SQ?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, please
yes.
just ask the SQ, please.
Yes. So we, as I said, like I've highlighted in the jobs debate a few years back, the conclusions that the Minister is trying to present is not complete.
Mr. Leong, I really like you to ask your supplement.
Yeah, so does he agree?
Don't make a mini speech here.
Yeah, does he agree that his conclusions are not complete as long as the job statistics do not separate, okay, the Singaporeans from the PRs, because there's still because there's these changes within the resident employment that is not completely transparent to us. Thank you.
Minister Tan.
Mr. Speaker, I think the member, Mr. Leong, has decided to rehash the divide between us versus them, Singapore citizens versus PR. Again, I think the fundamental answer to the member, Mr. Gerald Giam's question has been addressed. If he wants to start another debate, which we have done through ministerial statements delivered before, I suggest he files a separate PQ. Thank you.